Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're me going over a 2022 Mercedes S-Class. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to Kunani for getting me the footage on this car. Check out her Instagram in the description down below. Let's get into the video. Let's go over this all new S-Class. So first off, we have the hood ornament. You got to have that in an S-Class. But before we talk about any of the elements on the front end, as you guys are seeing this initial footage, let me talk about the engine that's powering this. So this has a 3-liter inline 6. It's turbocharged. It goes through 9-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 429 horsepower and 384 pound-feet of torque. This is an S500 4MATIC. And so yeah, it's basically the base model car with the base model engine. So this is the budget, quote-unquote, budget version of the S-Class, which still over $100,000. But you guys can see the details here on the front end. I think all of them look fantastic. Everything just looks very nice, very high class. And I think they just did a really good job overall with the S-Class from a design standpoint. And you can see the wheels here. Again, pretty normal Mercedes-Benz styling with the wheels. I think they look good. And everything on that is nice. The other thing I want to mention is the notice the calipers right there have the Mercedes-Benz logo on that. I think that's pretty cool. And then also the star there in the center. All of that looks really, normal Mercedes-Benz, I guess. And then notice here how it pops out for the fender. I think that's another nice little design touch with the car. I think that looks just pretty good. And then you got the chrome trim there on the bottom, there on the side, and then popping up here, you guys can see you've got a camera there on the mirror. And then also notice how the mirror is two-tone. It's black on the bottom, white on the top. A lot of car makers will just do plastic on the bottom, whereas they actually painted it here at the S-Class, which, I mean, it's $100,000 car, so you expect it, but it's still solid they did that. This does have the door handles that pop out, which is pretty cool. We will pop to the interior a little bit later, but here's kind of like our first view, so you guys can see everything on the door panel. And then with the front seat right there, I think everything looks really nice. That seat looks super comfortable. And then you can see the paint here with the metallic flake. And then also the trimmer on the windows looks really good. It's like a brushed aluminum. Here's a quick look at the window sticker. And you guys can see the total price and everything right there. And then the wheel here in the back, I think, looks really good as well. The brake caliper obviously is a lot smaller. You don't need as big brakes in the back, but it still looks solid. Got our S500 badge here. And notice the taillight design, then also the trim piece of chrome just above that. That looks really good as well. Kind of all ties in together. And yeah, I think they did a good job with the exterior of this car. Now you guys can see it next to the EQS. And I mean, I said it in the EQS video, I'll say it again. The S-Class looks so much better. I don't know what Mercedes was doing with the EQS, but just, yeah, doesn't look good. The S-Class, though, looks good. Even though I prefer the previous generation more, I still think this is a good-looking car. This is actually the door panel in the back. There's quite a few controls here. Again, it's the S-Class, so you're supposed to, supposed to be kind of like a chauffeur vehicle. So you guys can see the attention to detail with everything. The speakers for the sound system, for example, those look fantastic. Just like all the detail in that. It's a Burmester sound system, if you guys are wondering. Sounds really good. I've heard the sound system in quite a few cars, and it's great. No complaints ever. I will say that. And then you guys can see the back of the seat. I think it's interesting. It looks like it's plastic there on that back portion, which it is what it is. And then you can see the stitching there on the leather, and then you actually get vents for the rear passengers, which is a nice touch there. And then there's more vents down below here, and then some storage space right there. And then notice how that has some nice leather stitching around it. So it's good that they put leather around all of that. And then popping here to the seats in the rear, you can see really nice perforated leather here. And then the stitching design that goes down them, it kind of flows like water almost. I think it looks really good. Very similar interior to what is in the EQS. And looking at everything, it's like they're pretty much the same car from an interior perspective. It's just that one of them is fully electric and the other is not, basically. But also notice how much legroom and everything there is in the back. It's very spacious back there. Again, kind of expected as a chauffeur vehicle. And then you can see here at the top with the grab handle and all the lights and everything, they kind of illuminate everything so that you can see whatever you want. And then also notice the sunroof situation. It's like a dual sunroof, so you've got one in the front and then one in the rear instead of a full panoramic. Kind of interesting when car manufacturers do that instead of a panoramic, but I also get it so that, if you want the back portion open, but you don't want the front portion open, you've got that option, whereas with a panoramic, you don't. You can only have like the front open or all of it pretty much. Anyways, you can see the door panel here at the front with all the seat adjustments and everything. You've got the memory seat functions, and yeah, just the attention to detail with everything. And notice how the design there with the kind of like wavy lines that's on the seats is also on the door panel. I think that's a cool attention to detail. All the speakers look great here in the back as well. And I just think overall, material-wise, obviously super nice. But I think from a design standpoint, I think they did a good job. Usually I hate black interior cars without like tons of like crazy bright colors to contrast. Like my T-Rex, for example, black interior, but I have red, so I like it. This, however, just all black, it still looks good. I'm actually a fan, so I think that Mercedes did a really good job with their design for the interior. Then you can see the perforated leather again there in the center. It looks good. Like it looks comfortable. It looks nice. It looks inviting. It looks like a seat that you want to sit in. That's the best way to really put it with the S-Class. And it's also very large. You can tell that if you're a larger person, you'll fit in that seat very comfortably, which is a huge plus. And then here on the dash, you can see the leather. Now, since this is the base model, notice how it's got the more like scaly looking leather is the best way to put it. With the higher up packages, they'll have the smoother leather. It's something interesting that I've noticed that all German automakers do is they do like the scaly kind of like rough hide leather for the lower down packages, and then they do the nice smooth leather for the higher up packages. So you can imagine like an S63, for example, the interior will look quite a bit different and quite a bit nicer. And you can really see that here in this shot with the leather, with the texturing on it. It's not bad, it's just not as nice as the smooth stuff. I do like the stitching though there. I think that looks great. What they've done, you can tell that craftsmanship is very nice. There is leather on the airbag cover, which is a huge plus. You got all the controls there with the piano black trim. Obviously, it's going to show fingerprints quite a bit, but it looks nice when it's clean, right? Just like a black car. And then I like the spoke design. I like how the steering wheel looks overall. I think it just is. It has a nice design. There's paddle shifters on it as well. And I think that the Mercedes just did a good job with their steering wheel design. And then obviously you got the turn signal stock. And look how, I mean, the stock part is plastic, but then the end is nice metallic trim. So at least that part that you're going to touch looks really nice and will feel nice as well. And then you can see the center console area here. Again, obviously covered in leather. You've got the nice stitching on it. And you can see opening that up. Storage space in there is actually pretty good. So that's definitely a big plus. And then you can see the passenger seat here. Just nice as the driver's seat. And I feel like they've used this like style of seat for quite some time. And so obviously people must absolutely love it. I've sat in a few cars with seats. They're very comfortable. But usually automakers change their seats more than what Mercedes has done with this new S-Class, which I'm not complaining about it, just bringing it up in the video because it's technically a review, right? And then finishing things up here, we've got the top of the car. You guys can see again with the sunroof, it's a dual sunroof situation. You've got all the controls for all of that right up there with the lights and everything. And one thing to note is it looks like it just has a regular headliner. It doesn't look like it's suede or Alcantara or anything like that. And then you can see the mirror actually looks really nice. But yeah, that is the new S-Class.